two, one, and we are recording with Mr. Sam Chaney of Weaponized News. I guess I was supposed to go on your show, but you're on mine. I'm. They all run together. I don't know what we're doing, but we were just talking about the bullshit of grown men and women avoiding topics of discussion. Like they're in third grade, like you're at home and your mom's gonna wash your mouth out if you say ass. I mean, nothing. I don't even know if I'm mad or if I just feel bad for people that are afraid to upload an episode because of a verboten topic. I mean, part of me is like, you know, if this is how humanity ends, just slipping down into an inescapable black hole of technocratic dictatorship. If no one's trying to fight it, then I mean, we almost deserve it. But with that happy opening,
well, they're weak. They're weak anyway because you know what I mean. I was demonetized like in 2015 off of YouTube, for God's sake, and so I played the game, get a strike, work it off for like a year. You know what I mean? And then finally they went back to like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7-year-old videos and said, this is inappropriate. You broke the terms of service. Your whole channel is deleted. I had a decent channel over there, like 10,000 subscribers, like over 5 million views, whatever, and being shadow banned and censored the whole time through all that fighting, trying to spread the info over here. But I'm Sam Chaney from Weaponized News. For your audience that doesn't know me, everybody go to weaponizednews.com. Check out my reports there. I'm broadcasting you from Central Valley, California, Fresno area. We're still able to, we have a great opportunity here. We're broadcasting on Access Television, so we can still spread the word through the regular old school legacy airwaves. We're on Comcast, on AT&T, and so that's separate and apart from the internet censorship. So we still get the word out there. I don't know what the audience is, but Access Television, Fresno CMAC, Community Media Access Collaborative, they do not censor, as long as we don't cuss and use vulgarity, and we try to keep it a halfway decent, family-friendly show. So I want to give them a shout out, because through all this censorship, they have not censored me one time or told me what to say, what I can and cannot say. And so the word still gets out there. Tommy, how is it in your area? Here in California, we're still in a state of emergency. We're on day, I think, pushing almost 900 for the COVID state of emergency. What is it like in your area? That's what I started, because I heard you talk that you started your podcast because of COVID, and people say that you only get good interviews because everybody had to stay home. That and the other.
Yeah, it's
but I started back because see, I was on the radio and I've been on the television a long time, trying to wake people up to the false flags, the New World Order, all this tyranny, and now it's coming into view. And as soon as they did COVID, I was like, it's on, man. And they said lockdowns and all this stuff. I was like, it's on, you know what I mean? So, but so what's it like being in your area? Over here, it feels like people are finally over it. Maybe 1 in 10 still wear the mask, and you see them once in a while driving in their car alone in the mask. That just gets me, man. But how's it like in your area with the mask, the germophobia? What's going on over there when you go out in the street and actually see the people in real life?
Honestly, I mean, for reference for future listeners, today's Sunday, July 24th, 2022 at 3:28 p.m. Eastern time. I kind of stopped. I just stopped participating in no sort of like rebel way. I think it was like fall 2020 when I like quit my job and started doing this full time. That was when I decided then I wasn't getting the vaccine, and I decided then that I wasn't wearing a mask. So what is it like in my area? I mean, I don't really pay. I don't focus on it. I don't wear it at the gym. I don't wear a mask when I don't have the vaccine. I don't give a shit. I'm banned from YouTube. Everyone thinks I'm a conspiracy. I decided early on. You know, it's like how to word this. It's like when you're like I don't know, like just cleaning up shit in your apartment or something, and you're like cleaning dust off, and then you're finding like spider webs, or you're going deeper, and then you find like old crumbs of food or something, and then you find like a sticky spill, and you're like, oh right, wait, this isn't, I can't do this in an afternoon. I kind of gotta just like fuck, I gotta clean. I gotta take 2 days, like, and you're cleaning everything, you kind of like move everything, right? It's same thing when you're like moving. You can't kind of tiptoe, you gotta take everything down. But it's just early on when you're moving, you just forget the cleaning analogy, moving. There's no like easy way to move. You just accept from the first moment of moving that's just gonna suck a fat dick. And you're like, I gotta take down everything. You gotta unplug everything. You got fucking silverware and wires and medicine and socks and whatever. You just accept that it's gonna just suck dick. You just accept it. And once you accept it, it's a lot easier. And I think it was like the first time in like late 2020, I think, when I read that like it was like the vaccine wasn't stopping the spread and it wasn't stopping uh, getting infected. And the first time I brought it up at work, and like everyone I was at a liquor store and everyone was like, oh, you're an I just decided then, I was like, oh, this whole thing's fucked and it's going to be a long ride. And so like with that, I guess I can't really give you an accurate analysis on what it is over here on the East Coast. I unplugged and I just said fuck it. And then when I got banned from YouTube last August, not for some insane conspiracy, but for interviewing Dr. McCullough and Dr. Malone, that was like the second echelon of just unplugging and just going, I don't give a fuck. And so I don't know what it's like here. I have no idea. I don't listen to anything. I put in headphones when I go to a store. When people point at me and say mask, I just wave and I say vaxxed. And they don't know what to do because no one wants to admit that the vaccine doesn't work. So you just kind of like, you just run the NPC's dialogue back into it. Put the mask on, I'm like triple vaxxed. And they don't know what to do. And yeah, I guess that's kind of where it is now. I just don't give a shit. I just don't. I'm kind of reaching up, like I just said to you before we start recording. If no one's gonna stand up to this and no one's gonna speak, like if you can't speak out against a vaccine that is making billions of dollars for private companies, being perpetuated by a federal government that is in bed with the companies, which is the definition of fascism. And the main opponents of it are the blue collar workers that the supposed left is supposed to stand with. And when you have on the inventors of the vaccine or the most published cardiorenal physician in world history, and you still get banned from it by a big tech quintuple conglomerate of trillionaires, if no one's just willing to even begin to stand up, then it's almost, we deserve to lose it. And like, I won't be here for it. I will, if it keeps going this way, like I'm gonna get no knocked by the FBI and shot in the face in 5 years when it's illegal to say tranny. And I'm okay with that because I don't want to live in a world where 100 men have less testosterone than that of a single man from 1940. I don't, not to be like a downer or black pilled. I'm okay. Because I think I said it yesterday. You can't fail at something if you never give up. You can either succeed or you can go, fuck, I didn't make it today, but I can try again tomorrow. As long as you don't quit, you'll never experience failure. And the only way you won't succeed is if you die. But if you're dead, you're not experiencing failure. You didn't get it. You didn't experience failure. And that's kind of where I am. I'm like, I will not experience this cucked, just beta faggot New World Order, dick in your ass. Don't question anything. It's stunning and brave to see toddlers in front of a tranny twerking their balls saying it's not going to lick itself. I won't be here to see it succeed because I will either fight to the point where it won't succeed or I'll be shot in the face. And that's,
Tommy, I don't think it can succeed. It will collapse under the weight of its own
100%.
corruption because it's so absurd. Over here, I've been fighting it the whole time, not wearing the mask. Actually, okay, the biggest I had a problem. If there's businesses saying you have to wear the mask to go in there, I just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go in that business. I don't want to spend my money with you medical tyrants, right? And you idiots. But I had to go to the bank this one time and they said, wear a mask. And they started jumping up and down, wear a mask, wear a mask. I said, I'm not doing it. You guys don't understand. I'm not doing this. I'm not part of your mind control program, right? And I did some Jedi kind of mind trick. I was very proud of myself. I just waved my hand and said, I'm not part of your mind control program. I told the teller that. And I said, I want to do my business with you. Please make this transaction happen. And they did. So it's been challenging. I've been fighting it the whole time, and one mind at a time is our motto. One mind at a time is the best that we can do. And so I believe that I've woken up a lot of people in my immediate circle, friends, family, coworkers, whatnot, to understand deeper, because I've been researching this thing for like 15 years, ever since I woke up to it. I read some David Icke books, and went on the internet, started going down these rabbit holes and going, holy crap, there really is this totalitarian one world government. They really have lied to us our whole life. It really is this big conspiracy. And so ever since I learned about false flags, I learned Vietnam never happened, right? My father's passed on now. He's 100% disabled veteran. His life was all screwed up from getting blown up in Vietnam, right? And then I learned, the whole thing's a lie. I'm like, this really pisses me off because it ruined my whole freaking life, honestly. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, Vietnam never happened. And the whole thing was a false flag. Oh yeah. Gulf of Tonkin never happened. They declassified the documents. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, I'm pissed. I'm pissed at this system. Oh man.
Yeah.
And so that's what. And then I learned more. I was following the Ron Paul movement, and I was like, the fight for liberty really is eternal. We can never give up for how much they want to demonize America. And I know we're imperial empire power. I don't agree with any of these illegal foreign wars of aggression. The Democrats, Republicans, all bullshit. But we got to still realize the men and women that died to get us to this point, and not just give up and say, oh, well, we're going to have trannies twerking in kids' face. And it's going to be cool that the FBI just no-knock raids you and kills you over it. Well, like you said, if that's how it is, then that's how it is. Then at least I know I went out swinging at these corrupt Satanists.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you just kind of find peace and like, dude, I'm just not doing the thing. Like, you ever had a job where like they'd be like, let's do a morning like pep rally. You're at like a minimum wage job and they're like, everyone get together, like, we're gonna have a great day. Like, like moving, you just have to early on go, hey, I'm not doing it. And like, it's okay, like, you don't have to like me, you can call me a cunt. Like, I am being like a pissant, I get it. I'm just not doing the thing, man. I'm just not doing the thing. And when you accept that, I don't know, there's like a great peace that comes over you where you just go, I'm just not doing the and also kind of allows you to slowly like unplug and just watch it. Like at first it gets you really angry. And I know like I probably am coming across as angry, but I'm not. It's more of just you just kind of start watching it. It's like
well, tell me about this, because I've been listening to a couple of your podcasts. So you went through all this ordeal going to qualify for medical school. How was that indoctrination? By the way, I've went through their whole system. I have a degree in accounting, a degree in economics. I went through their whole freaking system, heavy indoctrination, heavy brainwashing. You know what I mean? I work professionally now as an accountant. But tell me how your indoctrination in your field of study, because it feels like listening to you're still unwinding from that, maybe a little bit.
No, that the thing is like I can honestly say I never had a bad experience with school. I mean, I went to private Catholic school, 1st grade through 12th grade, and that was a solid education. And I went to the University of Georgia. I mean, I don't know what it is now. I graduated in December 2013. No, I can honestly say, I mean, surprisingly, there was you had your hippies and you had your far right racists. I mean, maybe it's different if I had like a creative writing degree, but I was a biology major, and for the most part, you just had a bunch of type A motherfuckers that were gunning for med school.
So what is a woman then?
A bitch with titties and a vagina. I mean, what do you want? And a guy is a fucking dick with a dick. I mean, but that was never That's the thing is like
maybe it sounds like 2013 you got out just before the heavy.
Yeah,
because like I went to business school and there was none of this political correct garbage in business school at all.
I mean,
maybe I saw it in general studies when I was like what did I take? I forget even. It was some general study class. Maybe there was a little woke political correctness, but it wasn't like it is now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I remember taking political science, and I had a professor that I remember I was talking to one time, and I mean, he was kind of out of class. He was like very liberal, but I remember even that I was so surprised because I remember he was like, he was like, I think George Bush is the worst president in history. I think he's a dictator. I think Obama is a savior. But he was like, but my job is not to tell you what to think, is to teach you how to think on your own. And even that was like the closest brush I had with someone who's like, I am a flaming liberal, but he was like, I'm not here to fucking do this. Like, you're 22. He's like, I'm here to like show you the fact. So I don't know. Maybe there was just some weird like a weird alignment of the planets where like, despite how utterly fucked shit is now, I really never had. I mean, I had lefty friends, but I had righty friends, and for the most part, it was just like no one fucking no one. Everyone was just so focused on like enjoying shit. I mean, I'm sure I'm looking at it through rose tinted glasses, but maybe we get a little drunk and we'd argue, but like for the most part, it was just. Who knows? Maybe I'm just looking back at it wrong. If I went back and was able to like view a replay of my life, I'd go, "Oh, it was fucked." I don't know, man. And then there's like another part of me that's like, I think shit's undeniably fucked right now. But there's a huge part of me that's not arrogant enough to say I know for a fact that we're in like the end times, because we are in a time, it's like right now, right? You see every headline. It's climate change is causing heart attacks. Do you brush your teeth with your left hand? It causes heart attacks. Do you twitch when you come? That causes heart attacks. Do you eat a multivitamin with your right hand? That causes heart attacks. Make sure to not tie your shoes in the shade. That causes heart. And it's like, we've never had heart attacks in young people. Then we have this mass vaccination of an untested technology that's never been used in the history of man before. Has just voided the Nuremberg Code. And we have all these heart attacks. Like the scientist in you has to go, there's something that's never been done before, the mass vaccination with mRNA vaccines and no trials. And there's something that's never happened before. Young people, men and women of all races, dying of heart attacks. It doesn't take two brain cells to go, these are correlated. So part of me says, never in the history of man has everyone had access to a multi-megapixel camera or video camera, microphone, and internet connection. I mean, not even in the last 100 years, television, radio, the last 150 telegrams. This has never happened before. So the point of me saying all of that is much like we've never had a mass vaccination program of mRNA vaccines and then have all these heart attacks. The two are correlated. Despite being seemingly blackpilled, I'm not entirely confident that our access to nonstop information on every inch of the planet is not correlated to things seeming like they are fucked. Like, we've never had this connection before, and now it seems like the New World Order is going to take over. Like, I'm just not willing to say they're not entirely related. Like, if you took all this technology and put it back in the year 1407, would it only take a couple of years for people to be like, the international bankers are taking over the world, the Satanists are going to win? And it might be like, no, the human mind's not meant to. You're supposed to be connected into like what you can see in like eye shot of your own village, and you hear the good news and the bad news. Bob got eaten by a tiger, but Susie had twins. You're not supposed to go, oh, my air conditioning works, but the war in Ukraine and there's Sri Lanka is like, we're not meant for that. And it's like,
information overload for sure.
So I'm not entire, and we might be fucked. I might be wrong. In a couple of years, we might be up against you. And me might be up against the wall in some, Department of Homeland Security gulag about to get shot in the head, and I'll go, bro. I'll be like, Sam, you're right. It is fucked, but I'm not arrogant enough, and I'm not as smart as I think I am, and as much as an egotistical douchebag as I am. I'm not willing to say that. Because if you've ever unplugged from it all, just for even like 3 days, It's boring, but man, does your resting heart rate kind of go down. You start noticing you're like, God, the leaves are pretty. Like the sun really glistens on that water. And then you get on your phone and you're like, oh fuck, there's a HIMARS attack on Odessa. I didn't know what Odessa was 3 weeks ago. I don't know. I'm rambling now. I'm not letting you talk. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's information overload for sure. And like I was saying, I think that the absurdity of it all is that they're going to fail because, I mean, you can only live in denial. So what do people got to go through the stages of grief, right? To come to the realization that we've been lied to at such a massive level. And if you're sitting there having all these side effects and you go to the doctor and say, well, I was healthy, I got this injection, and now all of a sudden I have this problem, and they sit there and gaslight you. I mean, I think enough people are smart enough to wake up to the fact that they're lying to us. And I don't know how, and it feels like people in the medical profession more and more are going to have a conscience and come to the realization that you can't just deny reality in front of your face. Or are you a complete psychopath, maniac killer that gets off on people suffering? Is there really that high of a percentage of people in the medical establishment that are complete psychopaths? Because it seems like we're running up the hill, right? And there's a collision now coming, and it's going to be undeniable that the truth is right there in front of everybody's face.
Yeah, I think it also has something to do with like the NPC nature of people, right? And I also kind of hate using that because it makes you sound like an awakened like asshole, like you and I don't still have our own biases, and like we still don't have our own head in the sand about shit. Like none of us are perfect. But it's fascinating because at first you go, how could it ever possibly change when only like 5% of people, probably less, are like, this is insane what's going on. The censorship, the open borders, the inflation, the fucking heart attacks in 7-year-olds. You go, this is insane. You go, God, and then and then it takes a couple months, and then it's 3% of people. And then it takes a couple months, and it's 4% of people. And you go, how are we ever going to get to 100%? But what you have to remember is that you don't have to get to 100% because 90% of fucking people will only do what the perceived majority says. So you don't have to convince 100% of people that shit's fucked right now and that we're being fucked. There's 5% of people that see that it's fucked. There's 5% of people doing the fucking. 90% of the people just follow which one has the majority. So the reality is if right now it's 7% of fuckers to 3% of people realizing it's fucked, it's going to seem like it's 97-3. But once you get to 5 versus 5, people that don't think for themselves, it's a double-edged sword, right? A nuclear bomb is a double-edged sword. We create the technology. Oh, fuck. Now there's a line from Raven Rock where they're talking about the A-bomb. They go, we didn't just build the A-bomb, drop it, and then put it on a shelf. We now have to live with it, realize that other countries are going to discover it, and we now have to change how warfare is done and how society is restructured and mutual assured destruction. The thing about an NPC, you can use a knife, you can fucking put you can put butter on bread, or you can stab your grandma in the neck. Like, there's two sides to it. So the people that don't think for themselves and just do what they're told, put on a mask, BLM, I support Ukraine. You got to remember that they're doing what they think the majority wants. So if the perceived majority just starts going, I think these vaccines are fucked, all it takes is a couple of them to go, are these vaccines fucked? Are these vaccines? And then it's a domino effect. So what seems like Mount Everest it's actually like a seesaw. You just have to barely outweigh it. And then all the NPCs who don't think for themselves will just, once the narrative becomes these vaccines are dangerous, all of a sudden you're going to have everyone going, these vaccines are dangerous. These vaccines are dangerous. Like, it's going to be the new hashtag Me Too. It's going to be in like 2023 or 2024. And it's going to be like, I was lied to about the vaccine. And then it's over. So like, you can very quickly, if you can brainwash people one way, you can brainwash them the other way. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And then what do they talk about? The 100 monkeys too. Once once enough people get thinking about it, then we're gonna reach this level where it's just like it's known, right? It's
Yeah,
known.
it's like when 10% of a population becomes aware of a fact, not propaganda, but becomes aware of a fact. It isn't it like studied or proven that like the entire it will just saturate the whole population. It's like resonance with like atoms. If you can turn like a super chilled liquid or something, if you can just get like 5% of them to like form a lattice, the rest will all pop in line, right? It's it's once you can get like a couple people standing in line on a sidewalk, like have you seen those like sociology videos where they'll just do it in Manhattan? They'll just have 5 actors standing in line. People will just start standing in line, like no one knows why, right? Get 5 people to start sprinting through Times Square looking behind them, I guarantee you could start a stampede. No one knows why. Like, you're just like, oh fuck, we gotta go. Everybody's gotta run, right? And so that's what it is. It's just
We're
every
getting there. I think it just takes longer than we would like. And also we got to
yes.
realize we still have a freaking constitution in this country, and all these mandates, all this crap they do, it takes forever to run through the courts, but they're losing because it's all illegal, right? I mean, so they wind up losing. It's just, can you hold off? Well, the pressure that they put out there through the media, through the big government, can you hold them off long enough for it to work its way through the courts, through society, to where the public says, hey, this stuff's wrong? It just takes a lot longer, I think, than you and I would like, because I'm right away saying, no, it's wrong. And I guess these NPCs, whatever they're doing, it takes a lot longer for them to process this stuff as being wrong.
Yeah, it takes a long time. But think of like I just flagged again by the NSA or the FBI, but think of like a terrorist, right? Think you're Bin Laden. And it's like,
They are the terrorists. They're the ones running all these
yeah,
terrorists.
but yeah, that's understood. That's understood. Imagine you're Bin Laden and you're in a cave or you're in Langley, Virginia, or wherever you are, and you're watching the attacks on 9/11 unfold. And you're like, we fucking funded all this money, we coordinated this, we brought the guys into the United States, taught them how to fly, whatever, and we pulled it off, and they rammed into the World Trade Center. They did it. They fucking did it. They got by NORAD. They took
Mission complete. Yeah.
yeah, they got a jet. And you're watching the towers, and you're like, yeah, I mean, that's a decent fire, but you're like, this is it. This is it. And it took 102 minutes, but then finally, it and the whole thing goes. You don't need to melt steel. You just have to weaken it. And then, so 101 minutes, you're staring at it going, it's burning. People are jumping. I mean, death to the infidels, but like, I wanted something bigger. And then all of a sudden it goes, doo, 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 doo. And in 9 seconds, you get more than you got in the previous 101 minutes. Okay, a less psychopathic analogy. I started this podcast on December 12th, 2019, right? I got banned on August 29th, 2021 from YouTube. I was on Rumble starting last August, just going, fuck, I have 100, I think I had 80 subscribers. I was like, motherfucker. And I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And by like January 1st, I think I got to 1,000 subscribers. And I was like, okay, it's moving. I've been at it for 2 years. I thought I would be farther ahead. And then I did an episode with Dr. Malone, Dr. McCullough, and Dr. Desmond. And it went from 1.2 thousand to I think 6.5 in an evening. I got more subscribers in like 12 hours than I had in 730 days prior. So like 16,000 hours, right? 8,000 hours a year. I got 6 times more subscribers in 12 hours than I did in 16,000 hours. Now, if you look at it, you'd go, oh, well, why didn't you just do the thing you did on January 4th the entire time? Well, because you can't do that. You have to build up a library. You have to have some sort of respect. Okay, well, he's had on these authors, these generals. Clearly, he doesn't burn people. He doesn't do ambush journalism. He doesn't, take his dick out during the podcast and jerk off on a swastika. Like, there's some sort of respect to it, right? I had on Dr. McCullough before, I had on Dr. Malone before. You reach this tipping point where all of a sudden, then it goes. But you couldn't have done that if you can't have the tower collapse without those 3 years of preparation. But whether it was bin Laden or the CIA is neither here nor there. The reality is they can't have that 9 seconds of success without all that prior. I'm probably the only one that's going to use 9/11 as an inspirational fucking story. But like, that's my point. Is so like what you and I are doing and what we're seeing and what a lot of people are seeing is going, this whole thing's fucked. It's, do you not see this? It's building up. When it falls, it's going to fall in an instant. I mean, the Soviet Union fell in what was it, 89 or 91? When did the Berlin Wall fall?
91,
But you can,
I think, yeah.
yeah. But now you can look back at like the classified documents. There was internal uncertainty for like 2 decades prior. It really started with Zbigniew or Brzezinski, right? Whoever fuck that guy was, bleeding the Soviets in Afghanistan. Like that was really the beginning of the fall. You could even say that 1969 was the beginning of the fall when we landed on the moon and they had to drain their treasury to try to do the same thing. But you don't see it. You don't see it to the very end. And then you go, how'd that all happen at once? But it didn't happen at once. It took a long time. It's like that. And I know, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of hammering you. You're not letting you talk, but like, it's like that quote. There's some like NBA player, and they're like the overnight success, and he said it like a press conference. He goes, "It took me 22 years to become an overnight success." It's just happens at the last second. That's what I think it is. There's like the revolution will not be televised. There's a subsurface pressure growing of people who they can keep writing it off on their mind, saying it's an alt-right conspiracy. But there is some hipster in Brooklyn or Sacramento who now their best friend, who they go to Marxist poetry readings with, has Guillain-Barré syndrome or has a clot, and now they're going, yeah, wait, what? And then they bring it up, and their friends go, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist," and you're going, "No, dude, Bob, can you shut the fuck up? Like Bob's in the ER, like our buddy Bob, our Che Guevara shirt wearing buddy Bob." And so not only are they red pilled because it happened, then they go on Facebook and they go, "Hey, my best friend had a clot and he can't," and they get banned and they go, "Oh, wait." Because it comes staring in your fucking face. That's when it happens.
Yeah, I think they've overreached on this whole vaccine program, and that Paul Offit, a big vaccine pusher for the kids vaccine. That guy at the very beginning, I remember doing interviews, listening to that guy, and he tried to warn him. He said, you guys are going to maybe crash this whole vaccination program. And it looks like we're getting to that point because the latest data on the uptake for children for the COVID-19 vaccines, like less than 3%.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a very good sign right there that people are not running out and getting their little babies the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see that. That was surprising. You know, as much as like we're talking about how people are, even that, I was like, whoa, what? I didn't think it was going to be that. I thought like half the population was going to kill their kids before this happened. So like, it does. I mean, there are people now are going, wait, hold the fuck on. Monkeypox. They're like, we had a once in a century pandemic, and now there's another one just in time for midterms. I mean, even the most brain dead NPC is starting to, even their minimal pattern recognition software is going, it's like a game of Pong, right? They're going, wait, even I can play this. Like, what's going on here? So I think it has to happen. I don't think you would ever have people wake up without it being so. I think they busted their nut early. I think if they had boiled the frog more slowly, they would have gotten away with it. If they had done COVID if they had waited 10 years, if they had done COVID in 2029 and it was COVID 29 instead of COVID 19, and then waited like 5 more years to do like monkey, I think they probably could have gotten away with it. Right?
Not even secret though. The whole thing's so ridiculous. It's like Klaus Schwab wrote the book, COVID-19 Great
The
Reset, right?
Yeah.
They write the book and say, here's the plan to take over everything for our totalitarian scientific dictatorship. And you're crazy if you say that we wrote the book that says that we're going to do all this stuff. It's like, no, you guys wrote the book. You told us exactly what you're doing. And so therefore, no, we're not going along with this program. You know what I mean? But I think they did jump the shark. And then it's like, what's going on with Trump? I don't know. Did he make them do it? Is he part of it? I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of crazy stuff going on. They banned the president of the United States. You talk about us being banned? The president of the United States, for God's sake, was banned off of social media. That's kind of a big freaking deal.
That's a big flex.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are just like, oh yeah, the president was banned. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, that's the thing though, is like so much of the country, as much as I do believe the election was stolen, you can get away with it when like half the country hates them. Because I don't believe that 100% of liberals think it wasn't stolen. I think a lot of them probably think it was stolen, but they're going, I don't give a shit. I fucking hate
him. Screw Trump anyway. I hate his guts.
Yeah. And so like I'm not justifying it, but like I rationally understand it, right? Like I rationally understood, like, it was probably, it's like when you're watching your favorite team and it was like Tom Brady in 2001 when he's doing that forward pass and like the ref gave him the call. I mean, you're a Patriots fan and you're going, I don't know.
I'm a Raiders fan, man. You're breaking my heart here.
I don't even like football, but I am from New England and I was like 11.
Well, I don't watch it anymore either, but I'm saying back then I was.
Okay, but this is a good analogy then, right?
And I cried over that game. But this is
a good analogy, right? You're a New England fan. You're not stupid. I was 11, but let's say you're a football aficionado. You've been watching it your whole life. You love it. You played in high school. You're watching it. And even you might not even say it out loud, but in your mind, you're going, that was a fumble. But you're going, I don't want to watch this like Cinderella story end. You go, fuck it, we're going to Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck. Like deep down, when the cards are down, you see just how horseshit people are, right? When you get the bullshit call and you go, whatever, we'll take it. And you go, wait, what do you mean? I thought we were for a fair game. You see the real mask. It goes, I don't give a shit. Just give us the trophy. You go, oh, we're all after this raw pursuit of trophies. So that's what I think it was. I'm not defending it, but I think a lot of people are like, that was weird how all the voting stopped at 3 a.m. in the 5 swing states, and then they started reversing, and 99% of all subsequent ballots went to one guy. Statistically impossible, but I don't know. I kind of think Trump's a Nazi, so I'm just gonna whatever. That's what I think it was. So like I get it rationally.
No, their team won, and they're
exactly.
Like,
and I'm not defending it, but you can't have people start to question it because their team won, and if nothing happened, then like, whatever, it wouldn't be a story. But their team won. Inflation's at its highest point in 40 years. We have young adults dropping from heart attacks. We've given $100 billion fucking dollars to Ukraine. There's mass censorship. Just yesterday they banned the word groomer from Twitter, which sucks for I guess dog.
What else did I see? What is it? Webster's dictionary changed the definition of girl. I mean, yeah, it's getting dystopic.
But it's
craziness.
It's starting to get to a point though where you're even having members of the LGBTQ community go, we're not co-signing this grooming shit. Like we're not. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends who are just wildly gay. More power to them. Love you. And even they're like, this isn't about like civil rights. This is pedophilia. Now people are going to start revisiting that stolen election. Or if something does come out about it being stolen, if everything was hunky-dory, they'd be rioting in the streets. But it's almost like it's giving them a sort of like escape clause, right? It's like you give someone an off-ramp. When you arrest a medium-level mafia guy, you don't say you're going to be in jail for the rest of your life. Then they're not going to fucking help you. Fuck you. But if you go, we'll get rid of your sentence and we'll put you under, identity protection, whatever. What's the
witness protection?
Witness protection. Thank you. We'll put you under that. Then all of a sudden they ease up a little bit and they're like, all right, maybe I'll sell out Fat Tony or whoever, right? You give them an off ramp. people are, in a weird way, they have sort of an off ramp. You don't have to admit the election was stolen. You don't have to come full circle and say Trump wasn't that bad. But they can go, maybe that election was stolen. And you can hide it under the guise of, well, we need to protect democracy. You don't have to embarrass them and go, yeah, just admit that inflation's out of control and that we're vaccinating babies with something that breaks their heart in half. You give them, right? You give them, wasn't it Sun Tzu or Lao Tzu, whoever the fuck? He said, give your enemies a golden bridge to retreat across. Give them an out. Because when you corner an animal, it's just going to go for the jugular. It's over. No, you gotta little release valve. You gotta let it out. That's how you take it down without it exploding. And I think, in a way, if something does happen in midterms or 2024, if the military steps in, or if there's some crazy, like, schism in the intelligence community about, showing irrefutable, if you have some Pentagon officials or some generals going, we have been, subject to a deep infestation of Marxism. 2 years ago, you'd have riots in the streets. Now, that's kind of what I think happened. I think the intelligence community or aspects of the military who were monitoring everything, I think they probably, and this is just my own speculation with my own cognitive bias. Obviously, I like Trump. I'm very open about that.
You what? What about Trump?
I said I like Trump. I'm very open about that.
Yeah, I like them all, but he blew COVID.
Yeah, but just bear with, regardless of all that, just for this point, they might have come to him and said it was stolen. You have irrefutable facts. But half the country is so rabid at the mouth. We're in the middle of a Chinese bioweapon pandemic. There's a BLM Antifa riots in the streets. If we overturn this, despite the fact you did win, America will rip itself in half. China will move on Taiwan. Things are fucked. The way might be, we're not going to make this public. What we're going to do is we're going to plug up all the gaps so this can't happen again. And we're going to just kind of watch them red pill the country. We're going to show them what U.S. socialism looks like. Lower purchasing power, destruction of the food supply, housing prices through the roof, becoming a nation of renters, mass censorship. It's the analogy I use is your dad catches you smoking a pack of cigarettes, and instead of taking it away, he makes you smoke the whole pack, and then you're puking, right? Your mom catches you drinking, and she goes, "Don't do that." Your dad just goes, "Yeah, have fun." And then at 3 a.m, when you're on all fours, puking your guts out, having the spins, saying, "God, please make this stop. I promise I'll never drink again." After which experience are you more likely to drink in moderation? Mom taking it away, or you're on all fours in your own puke going, "I gotta call a cab"? It's the latter. Maybe I'm just optimistic. I think they're just kind of letting the populace see how fucked shit is. Or not, or we're going down to an existential hellhole and it's all over and it's the end of humanity. I really don't know, man.
It's the tough love we need. Maybe it is the tough love.
It might be. Crazier things have happened, man.
I talk to a friend every once in a while. I say, "What's going on with these people? Why won't these people ever wake up?" And he says, "Well, they are slowly still." And he says, whenever the people that are working 40, 50, 60 hours, 70 hours a week on their business, whenever those people finally wake up and start figuring out what's going on and start getting politically active, then things will change. And it feels like, well, like here locally in Fresno, things are changing. The president of the Fresno City Council got indicted on attempted extortion charges now by the city government here, because he went and threatened the city attorney that because we have a mini what do they call them? The squad woke crew over here running the Fresno City Council. And there's like 4 members that are the squad woke crew. And the head of it, the president, went and told the city attorney, "Hey, you work for us now," after they won this last election. and you don't listen to other three guys who are conservative and independent and whatever, and a farmer, whatever. You don't listen to those three. We control you now, city attorney. And so the city attorney said, no, wait. And so thankfully this guy had some ethics, and he said, no, wait a minute. I'm going to actually report this to the DA over here, because this is unethical and wrong. And you're attempting to extort me, saying that I have to listen to you and not serve the whole city's interests. And so now this last week, the guy got indicted. So, I mean, the corruption, if you have people with some type of conscience, some type of ethics, will be exposed. It just takes a long time. And this is after all kind of corrupt land deals. They're spending all the city money on their own personal stuff and it just goes on and on with these guys. But he finally got indicted over here. And so I think that's a positive thing, that the corruption's not standing at all levels.
Yeah. Hey Sam, I gotta go to the bathroom, man. Yeah, monologue, take it over.
You want me to keep going? Well, a big story.
This is your podcast for 60 seconds. Take it over, man. It's all yours.
Well, a big story that cannot be understated is Scarf Lady Deborah Birx. Now, her and Fauci, if you can remember back 2.5 years ago, were the heads of the COVID task force, and they would march out there on television every day and tell everybody the situation with COVID. And so now it's come out, she's written a book, and she's admitting that the COVID-19 vaccines were never going to protect against infection. And she's also admitted that she lied about the COVID-19 data that they used to set all these draconian public health policies. Now, this is a giant revelation that cannot be understated, and we need to call for her investigation and for her summarily being arrested for crimes against humanity, because that's what she has done. She's boldly out there giving Fox News interviews, trying to sell her book now. And we're just supposed to shrug our shoulders and laugh it off. Oh, they lied. They ruined everyone's life. Okay, they ruined a generation of children by, which may not be a bad thing, by cutting them off of the public education system, having them go to Zoom classes. This may not have been a bad thing. We don't know, but maybe it deprogrammed their mind. I don't know. The literacy rate in California is like rock bottom here now. I think we're last in the country, 50th, because we kept our schools closed here for a long time, like 1.5 years now. And so is that good thing, bad thing? We're going to see. But the policies, and they said you're going to be fired to all these people across all these energy industries if you don't take this COVID-19 vaccine. The progenitors of that policy, Birx, I don't think Fauci's come out and said it, but it's more than obvious. You just had Biden this last week, supposedly 4 times vaxxed, got COVID. Fauci, supposedly 4 times vaxxed, got COVID. And so our, quote, leaders have followed all of their protocols. They're still coming up positive for COVID, if you believe any of it. I don't believe any of it. I think it's all a show. They're just making it up. I don't know what the marketing strategy is to see all these, because they've been doing it for last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. All these supposedly high profile public people. I took all the vaxes. I followed all the protocols. I still got COVID, and you should do the same thing too, because it would have been worse, right? That's the meme, the Bart Simpson meme, where he's in the class and they're all laughing. They say the line. And the line is, it would have been worse, even though we did all these things that you said we're supposed to do to not get COVID and die. Even if you go and look at the actual statistics, it's like, unless you're obese, diabetic, have some other health condition, you're at very low risk, like 99.7% at one point. The numbers were, I don't know the exact numbers, but you're at very low risk if you don't have these other factors of COVID killing you. And so it's just, it cannot be understated that Birx, the Scarf Lady's out there giving interviews admitting that she lied about the vaccines, about the data. And we're seeing it, they're trying to re-implement the COVID-19 vaccine mandates or public health policies, I guess you could say, in LA County now, and we're seeing LA County is pushing back. Finally, there's lawyers, there's other high profile people are finally saying enough of this stuff, because this Barbara Furr, I wish I could screen share and show her photo, but she looks like death, right? She looks very bad health, and somehow she's the head of LA County Public Health, and she's reinstituting the masks, the lockdowns, the social distancing, all this stuff. I was seeing reports they're sending the code enforcement to businesses in LA County again to make sure that they're in compliance with LA County Public Health. But it feels like it's not going to work this time, because people are pushing back, asking questions. The data that she got from the mask is supposedly a report written by her own daughter. And you go look at LA County Public Health, who's their boss? Their boss is the LA County Board of Supervisors. And you look at, do they even have any children that these policies of masking children in the schools are affecting? And you go and look at, none of them even have any children now. They have 0 children. None of these people. 7 board members. The head of the county health, Fur, however you say her stupid name. They always have stupid names you can't even pronounce right. She has no children. Gavin Newsom has 4 children. All his kids went to private school, in-person instruction this entire time. He was not affected by these draconian public health policies, the masking of the children that they put down on Joe Blow, you and me, the rest of the population. Garcetti, the mayor of LA, he has 1 child in public school. So you could see, well, why don't they have a conscience? Why are they so disconnected? You see all these people going to the school board meeting saying, hey, your guys' policies are hurting the children. We're seeing all these studies coming out from Stanford, go down the list of prestigious California universities. And it's come out now that analyzing the COVID lockdowns, the masks, and all of their policies, that it's causing more damage than good. But yet they still want to re-implement it on July, I think it's going to be July 29th is when it officially goes into place. July 29th, 2022, and we're still fighting this uphill battle against these COVID tyrants. But it feels like this time around it's going to be different, and they will lose. I sure hope so, man, because and honestly, I think the conservatives in my area, and I see that's like they go and they want to fight the school board, and we see it over there in where's that, Virginia, and they have big pushback there, and they're fighting the school boards and whatnot. I say screw the public school, man. Pull your kids out and homeschool them. Don't even go along with this nonsense. They've already proven that they're not beneficial to your child's education. And the trauma-based mind control program of wearing the mask and getting all your vaccines, it's not working. It's not for public health. It's to train you to be a slave in this new world order, one world government machine, and lead to your early death is what all these public health measures are actually for. Tommy, how you doing? I was just explaining about
as soon as I went to the bathroom, and then I heard a knocking at my door. My maintenance guy was there. So I messaged you on Twitter. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, hey, can you hold it down for a couple minutes? Because normally I go to the bathroom for like 30 seconds and come back. But I went outside and I heard banging at the door. They thought my air conditioning was leaking to the person below me. I guess it's the apartment next to mine. But sorry about that. You're a fucking madman. You just normally I ask people to hold it down for 3 minutes or 30 seconds. I think you just held it down for 5 minutes. So hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you.
Well, I was just talking about how it cannot be understated that Scarf Lady Deborah Birx has come out this last week and admitted that she lied about everything. You know what I mean? And so that's a major revelation to me, that and the boldness of her. And it's like, wow, this lady's a complete psychopath to come out and admit that she lied about the COVID data. She lied about the vaccine. She lied about everything, basically. And she's written a book where she says as much and giving Fox News interviews about it. And it's like, wow, we're at this point in the fake pandemic where they're coming out. And I don't know if you're familiar with the SPARS document.
Oh yeah, that's Dr. McCall turned me on to that.
There's a SPARS document that
2017.
It's and they say they admit in there they're going to throw people under the bus. SPARS, it's from Johns Hopkins University for you conspiracy theorists out there. Just search the SPARS pandemic 2025 to 2028, and you can go see they lay out. It's like one of these tabletop simulation exercises, and they lay it all out in this document. It's a 89-page document. Everybody should go download that PDF and look at it. And they say we plan on throwing people under the bus, these public faces of public health, like Burks, but she's doing it to herself now. I mean, so did they send her out there on a suicide mission? I don't know what is going on, but it's wild, man.
It's yeah, it's definitely hairy. Have you ever seen the movie The Departed?
Yeah,
Jack
I think
Nicholson.
So. I don't remember it very well. Is it a gangster movie with
DiCaprio? Yeah. And it's the undercover cop, and then like the corrupt cop, and they're like, it's like a cat and mouse, whatever. Matt Damon's a state cop who's actually in bed with the mafia, and Jack Nicholson's like his mafia boss, right? And they've been working together for years. And towards the end of it, Damon walks up to Nicholson and he goes up. He was like, and he finds out he was an FBI informant. Because they're like, isn't it weird how he never gets taken down? He's been a mob boss, operating for decades. So he never gets taken down. Is he really like that good? And Damon finds out from somebody at the police office who doesn't know that he's a bad guy.
Is it Nicholson? Nicholson's the one, right?
Nicholson's he's the head boss. Turns out
now I remember.
He's a mafia. He's an FBI informant. That's why the mafia never, because there's like an even bigger picture. Because if you remember, he's like helping sell like software, microchips to the Chinese for missile guidance, and the NSA is like, this is more valuable to us, so just let him be a mob boss, because what he's really doing is helping us fight the whole fucking whatever. But Damon finds out about that. And Damon comes up and he's like, you're an FBI informant? You're an FBI informant. And he goes, I didn't sell anybody out. And Damon goes, oh. And he goes, I didn't sell anybody out that wasn't going down anyway. And Damon shoots him, right? There's kind of like that going on, right? Because the throwing them under the bus, what I've heard of it as is the rug pull theory. It's that the World Economic Forum is Jack Nicholson. Matt Damon are all the existing world leaders. They think they're on the inside. Perpetuate the vaccine. Perpetuate it. They think it's just business as usual. We're getting kickbacks from Big Pharma. They're going to donate to your campaign. Who doesn't love a little emergency powers? Do whatever you want. Reality, what's going on is it's a two-pronged plan. These people are doing it and fucking over the populace, thinking they're in with the World Economic Forum. But the World Economic Forum's like the top rung of the pyramid. The world leaders are the second rung, and then the people are the huge bottom rung. The second rung doesn't know they're the second rung. They think they're in the top. They think there's only two rungs. The reality is after they fucked over the people for 2 years, now the top rung goes, now they sell them out. And they start showing the people, these vaccines were damaging you. They were damaging your kids. That didn't actually work. That censorship was malicious. This was all intentional. What that does is it makes the people go, fuck these governments. And then the World Economic Forum comes in and goes, you're right. They just poisoned your kids with vaccines. There needs to be a new solution. May I offer a world government solution? That's the only way you'd ever accept it, is if the existing model is, if you just come out and go, we're going to have a world government, everyone goes, fuck no. If you make the existing governments look so fucking inept, not even inept, competently evil, then you do the rug pull. You sell out the middleman. And then the people accept a world government.
I'm waiting for the aliens, honestly. I want the fake.
Honestly, that's the fucking
that's the only way I'm getting behind this world government.
That's the end. That's the
alien invasion.
That's the real end game. But like, so that's like the rug pull theory, though. So when you see
no,
this,
it makes sense. And then you got your puppets, Trudeau in Canada.
that's what I mean. Like he'll be sold out, Biden will be sold out, Fauci will be sold out. That's what it is. They think they're on the inside, but they're not. They're Matt Damon. They're getting sold out. And
They made a deal with the devil for sure.
It's pure evil, but I mean, God, you got to respect the beauty of a well orchestrated plan. I mean, it's you got to respect game, man. I'm not saying it's good. I mean, listen, the Nazis had jet engines in the 40s. You got to respect the technology. I'm not saying they're good. They're fucking demons. But God, they were shooting rockets up in like 43, 44. So you got to respect game. That's what I think it is. Because it's weird. Why else would she come out? Why else would she just come out? Did she have a gun to her head? Why would she just come out and say
so
I
arrogant
lied?
that she believes that she
Could be
wrote
that.
a book because she wrote a book and she's going around the mainstream media promoting buy my book and I'm a
you think
giant
it's just that
tyrant.
though? Do you think it's
I don't know. These people are maniacs. So I mean, I'm not a psychopath, so I can't. I mean, you learn a little bit about their psychology here and there, but I think these people really are crazy, man. They really are crazy.
I don't think you're wrong. It might not. It might be Occam's razor. It might not be this malicious 4-step 5D chess. It might just be these are arrogant psychopaths who are. It's like Hitler turning on Stalin and Operation Barbarossa and then trying to invade Russia in the winter while fighting a Western Front war. It's like, wait, that was his own arrogance. Like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you don't fight. You don't invade Russia in the winter, especially when you're trying to fight Britain and the United States. It might just be arrogance. Like, that wasn't some master 5D chess plan. That was a methed out, megalomaniacal military retard who completely sunk his own system by crossing Stalin. You don't do that. That might be it. It might not be some they're doing this and then it's going to be this, and it might just be some arrogant psychopath bitches who just think they're untouchable. That's probably
you got to realize they're all in their own little echo chambers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not seeing. She doesn't see it the way maybe she really believes she saved everybody, and I had to lie because to save everybody. You know what I mean? That's the story that they told us. Well, we had to lie to you because we saved you and we just didn't know. And well, now we know and we're sorry, but not really sorry. Buy my book.
Yeah. I'll admit I haven't actually like read into it. I've just seen kind of like headlines and screen grab. What is her logic though for saying, because if she's saying I had to lie to save you, but what's
no, she's not saying that. I'm just saying that's how I could see her and all these public health people justifying it in their mind that we're doing this for the greater good. You know,
that, I would say, but that maybe doesn't apply here, because if she's saying I lied and the vaccines didn't work, then there was no lying to save you. It would be lying for your own health if she said, look, I understand these cause heart attacks, but I had to lie because it was more important to lose 30,000 people to heart attacks and to save 3 billion. That would be the whole, it was for the greater good. If she's just saying the vaccines didn't work at all, well, then what was the,
I'll read a quote from her Fox News interview. She says, I'm quoting her now, I knew these vaccines were not going to protect against infection. And I think we overplayed the vaccines, and it made people then worry that it's not going to protect against severe disease and hospitalization. She said that in an interview with Fox News.
See, this is what's making me think this is part of like the rug pull theory.
Yeah.
Because lying for the greater good would be if she goes, look, we knew early on it was going to give people heart attacks. We had to lie about it because we saved 3 billion people from dying from COVID. You could almost see that justification. You could almost go like, that's like a hard wartime, right? It's like nuking Hiroshima and killing 100,000 civilians to save 1 million American GIs and probably more Japanese. You can kind of get on board with it. It's a cold arithmetic, but you can kind of get on board.
Machiavelli, yeah.
But for actually the greater good, as hard as it is to swallow, it's like You know, we're all happy that we don't have to make those decisions, and we're happy that there are some generals that, again, Jack Nicholson, right? But like, you want me on that wall, you need me on that wall. What she's doing now, though, there's no logic. She's going, I had to lie to you about the vaccines. Why? If anything, her lying would make it even worse, because she's giving people dangerous vaccines that are killing them with heart attacks, and also giving them a false sense of security that they're immune. And then there's no, what is the greater good? What is you get what I'm saying? Like, there's no, that's what makes, if it doesn't add up, that's what makes me think there's something else. If the budget's not balancing, it's because some money's being siphoned off somewhere. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm rambling.
Well, they promised up and down. They said, if everybody's following, they're at home. They said, one and done for Johnson & Johnson. You take your one vaccine and you saved grandma and everybody's cool. And then they said, oh, well, by the way, we're going to pull that. Remember, they did that quick pull and they said it's causing blood clots. So we're going to pull that back. And, but just take your 2 Pfizers, 2 shots, and then you save grandma and you save the world and everything's cool. Oh, but the immunity's waning now, so you need to take a booster. I don't understand the mindset of people on their 4th shot. Honestly, I felt sorry for these people. I think there's been a lot of saline shots out there as well. We're in the middle of what's mind blowing, and it still blows my mind thinking about it. We're in the biggest clinical trial for a drug ever known to
human history. It's the biggest psyop in mankind.
The biggest psyop as well, and we're right in the middle of it still. I think it lasts till like 2023, the clinical trial for Pfizer, and then there's documents I saw. I wasn't able to 100% verify them, that the World Bank says this thing ends in 2025.
Well, that's for phase 1 of a clinical trial. A clinical trial takes 13 to 15 years.
A legitimate one, right?
There's 4 FDA phases.
Yeah.
I think I understood like the first wave of people getting it. Again, people that saw the election stolen, but deep down they hated Trump, so they just let it go. The Tuck rule. I think there are probably a lot of
scared the hell out of everybody. You know what I mean?
I think there are a lot of people that go, it's probably not 100% safe, but we're in the middle of a pandemic and we kind of got to do this. And I genuinely think they were doing their patriotic and their humane obligation. And I think it's commendable. The booster, I'm not willing to throw the people that got it under the bus, because I do think they're the victims. I think they've been lied to.
Victims of hardcore mind control for sure.
Yeah. When you want to get to like 4th and 5th booster, then I'm kind of like, all right, well, now we're reaching like natural selection. But
remember at one point they're like, if you don't take these shots, you should be put in a humanitarian quarantine camp and locked up.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point where you go, okay, you're not a victim anymore. I'm lock and load. If you come trying to put me on a cattle car, that's all right. I know where that goes. But more than anything, I feel bad for a lot of people. I think they're doing their patriotic duty. And why would you listen to Tommy getting banned from YouTube and not the institutions that you were raised to respect? The FDA, the CDC, the professional guy with the salt and pepper hair and the white coat with a dramatic face.
Experts, yeah, they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
It's trusting
on our little podcast internet shows. We're just some crazy conspiracy guys. That's the experts.
And why wouldn't you? And why wouldn't you think that, right? It's like you hear about people that were raised into families where the parents, fucking demons, are human traffickers and groomers. You're raised into that family. It's not your fault that you've been completely lied to and that you don't know what's real. Like, I was raised into a loving family and I was taught to be stranger danger. If you're raised in a bubble and you're told that you got to pull your weight and you got to go fuck Uncle Bob for money, I'm not angry at that person for them thinking that that's normal. If they try to push it on me, I'm angry at them. But more than anything, I try to like be empathetic. And I'm like, dude, they got lied to. Like, they got fucked. That's kind of how, like, I'm not angry at like the troops that went to Iraq. I have a lot of friends on here that are consistently on here that are my age and that are all fucked up from PTSD and injuries, multiple combat mission or multiple combat deployments in Iraq. I'm not mad at them that Colin Powell and the CIA manufactured evidence of WMDs. They were lied to. And not only were they lied to, they were lied to and told that they were doing the right thing. They took advantage of good people. I think a lot of people, a lot of good people have been taken advantage and they thought they were doing the right thing. They genuinely thought they were doing the right thing, right?
It's a big wake up call. Don't trust the government, but
Yeah.
you got to go through this pain and suffering
You do,
and
though.
trauma. Then I guess that's what you got to go through to wake up to this fact.
Yeah, you do though. I mean, right? It's, you have to get cheated on in a relationship before you can really start to respect yourself, right? If you're in middle school or high school and you're in a bad relationship, again, you've never known anything other than it, and you're madly in love and all your hormones are raging, you just put up with a fucking manipulative girlfriend or boyfriend. Once you've been cheated on or had your heart broken or been in a relationship with someone that actually respects and cares for you and it's a reciprocal mutual building process, then you start to respect yourself. And then when you maybe go out on a date and you see someone gaslighting you early on, unlike when you're 15 and you're like, this is the only girl to ever touch my dick, I have to be with her. You're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're like, I've been with better people and you're not treating me the way I would like to treat you. And you respectfully go your separate ways. It's kind of, right? It's being pressured into drinking in college versus like I'm 21 and when I was 20, no, I am 21, I'm 31. When I was 21, like a lot of me didn't like drinking in college, but I didn't know anything else. It was, this is what we do. We're at an SEC school in Georgia. This is what we do. And if you don't, you're a fucking loser. If you live in a frat house or you're not partying with us, you're a fucking loser. And so you try to stand your ground, but then you cave and you drink and you're like, I hate what I do when I'm drunk. I hate how I act. I hate the money I spend. I wake up feeling like shit. I have panic attacks. I get depressed. But this is what we do. We drink. Versus now I'm 31. And if someone's like, bro, we're drinking, I'm like, respectfully no. You just respectfully no. I don't want to. Bro, hit the bong. Yeah, I don't really smoke pot. And most of the time, other people will be like, oh, okay, cool. And if someone is like, dude, drink, you're like, okay, fuck off. You kind of have to go through that learning process before you can start to love yourself and respect yourself and demand better from those around you. So
what they did to people, man, they threatened people with families, mortgages,
and their
they threatened their
livelihood.
livelihood. They said, we're firing you, we're putting you on the street if you don't go along with this program. You know what I mean? It's truly crimes against humanity what 100%. They've done now to the majority of the population. And yeah, you can't begrudge people that had to make these hard choices. I would never make that personally, but that's just me. I would rather be out on the street and still have my soul and know that I never sold out to these corrupt, evil assholes. But I mean, like I interviewed a poor guy. He was a guy in his 30s. He was vaccine injured by the Pfizer vaccine, right? And he's like, I took two and he's like, I was in good health, decent health before in his early 30s. He's like, I took the two because that's the only way my family would allow me to come visit him because his family was so brainwashed by it. And I was like, my God, look what they've done to people, their family relationships and whatnot. And so, but he took two Pfizers and he actually tore his vaccination card up, posted it on Twitter, and went viral. And I interviewed that guy and got to hear his story. And he's actually out there doing independent media as well, reporting on stuff. So it helped wake him up. And so it's just tragic what they've done to the majority of people. And I guess this is the shock and awe that people needed to wake up to the fact. And like you say, some of these NPCs, I guess, never are going to wake up. But I mean, a lot of people, I think this has woken up to, you can't trust this government now. And man, the veterans, like you say, the veterans know, right? The majority of veterans, they know because they went and served and they saw how they were treated and they went through the whole system. And so they know damn well that you can't trust this government if they can make it back here alive. I remember they were under Obama, they were listing combat veterans as the #1 threat, not terrorists overseas. combat veterans, and then you go, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it actually does when you think about it, that these guys are trained killers by the government, and if they wake up to the fact that this government is totally corrupt and they're crashing this whole system and your children have no future, then yeah, those are probably your number one threat. Corrupt government are those trained killers that have done the dirt for you and come back here and see that they're kicked out of their house, and their wife cheated on, whatever, their life is shit, and you thought that they were fighting overseas for your freedom, and they come back here and see what shithole they've made America into. Then yeah, that, if I'm looking at it from the government perspective, that is my number one threat.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ken Clisby, Willing Accomplices, former CIA agent, great book called Willing Accomplices. I mean, what did the KGB do? They'd send 10 operatives to the East Coast, Atlanta, Charlotte, New York, Boston, whatever. And you'd say, go set up these communist circles, take over whatever local thing you can, a library, a student union, a volunteer fire department, whatever. You'd send over 10. 7 of them would get caught. They get caught and or just fail. 3 of them would succeed, and they'd actually set up these little Marxist circles. The 7 that didn't work, they were either caught by the U.S. or they just failed and they're just fuck ups. So you just burn them. You just cut all contact with them. The 3 that did it successfully, you call them back to the KGB headquarters in the Lubyanka prison, bring them back to Moscow, and you shoot them in the back of the fucking head, because those are the most competent people. And if they're competent to set this up, they're your number one threat to your power. So of course it makes sense that the people they fear the most are the fucking Delta operators, the SEAL Team 6 guys, the Rangers, the Green Berets. Yeah, that's your biggest threat, is keeping them under wraps, because they're trained and equipped to penetrate any government on Earth. What do you do when they don't like you anymore? They're the guys you call to defend against threats like that. Who do you would call Delta Force to protect against a Delta Force like team? You can't. When your bodyguard decides to beat the shit out of you, you have no bodyguard to call. So it makes 100%. That's, yeah, I mean, so then the question comes down to this. Or did somebody, if they can war game spars or war game monkeypox or twerking in front of children?
I haven't seen any documents on the war game of the transgender.
Not yet.
I'm sure there are documents.
It's gonna come. It's coming. There's another Klaus Schwab book out there, like the equity of twerking or some shit. But so then the question comes: is there still a pro-human, pro-America, pro-liberty group within the government that is, they know that if they take the bottle of vodka from you, you're just going to go get another? Is there a group that's going, the only way to get them to stop drinking is to let them get way too fucked up?
Are there white hats in the government? That was the whole QAnon thing, right?
Sure. That's, and I don't want to lump it in with that, because they also think that every politician's been executed and that these are hologram renderings. Like I can go with maybe there was a UFO that crashed in Roswell, but I can't go with the Earth is hollow and there's reptilians. Like I can go with like a dark cabal took out JFK. I can't go with Hillary Clinton is actually a lizard from Alpha Centauri. I can't go. I've smoked pot. I've done mushrooms. I haven't done heroin. I haven't done meth. I don't want to. There's tiers to how far you go. So I don't want to jump. I don't want to throw my hat in with QAnon, because there's also just some batshit insane where they think every tweet and every timestamp is a reference to something about how a Q drop is doing this, and how Mickey Mouse is actually Satan, and how Putin's actually the president, and Xi Jinping is actually Paul Revere. Like I can't. That, as the comedian Ray Kump said in regards to QAnon, turn on CNN, turn on Fox, get on Reddit. How crazy do you need it to be? It's already fucking nuts. It's weird enough. It's weird enough that like the Brookings Institute was contracted by the government in 1967 to do a think tank war game tabletop scenario on what do we do if, when we land on the moon in 1969, we find remnants of an alien civilization. That's insane. That's insane that they actually put that out there as an outcome. I don't need it to be that there are sentient Tyrannosaurus Rexes in the Hollow Earth fucking kids and sacrificing them to Moloch. Like, I don't need it to go that far. I don't need it to, like, a good time is a 12-pack of beer and some pizza with your friends. Like, I don't need to do meth and like fuck an alligator.
You're going to be partying with Hunter Biden?
I mean, listen, I'm not going to say that dude doesn't know how to throw down. I think he's probably a pedophile, and again, so I can't really co-sign that. I'm not going to say that like at one point I wouldn't. 18-year-old me, I'd absolutely hang out with Hunter Biden on a Friday. And if you're saying otherwise, you're lying through your fucking teeth. Not now. I'm not a big partier now. You're 19 and Hunter Biden rolls up in a limousine with a bag of coke and a bunch of hookers and $10 million in Chinese dark money. Fuck you, you're not getting in that. Fuck you. But the point is back to what you're saying. That is the whole QAnon theory, is that there is the only way to affect any change.
But we saw like white hats come out, like Bill Binney. There's a bunch of NSA whistleblowers that have come out. They get raided, persecuted.
Yeah.
They all told us what's going on here, man. And it feels like that guy's not in there anymore because he gave up his career to blow the whistle about what's going on with all this security, deep state type activity.
Yeah, you know I mean,
so it's like, are there units? I'm sure there are good people in there, but I'm like, when are you guys going to actually arrest these corrupt, arrest the bad guy? If there's, because you always hear, I used to watch Sean Hannity years ago, right? And he'd always make excuses. Oh, there's because there'd be a scandal in the FBI. He'd say, but 99% are good.
Good apples.
And then I would say, well, my question is, then why don't the good ones go arrest the bad ones and end this nonsense already? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm on board with you with that. It's like, if there is a cabal of good guys, how come you're not
handle
acting?
It already? How much more pain do we need to? How much more corruption and baloney out of these clowns do we need to put up with before you guys go and arrest them already? I mean, it's just it's ridiculous.
My counterpoint to that, because I always try to play devil's advocate just for the fuck of keeping my mind open.
It's like deprogramming the NPCs.
Well, it's like if you saw like Tom Brady training or LeBron training, and you were like, why are you doing that stupid stretch 2 hours a day? Why, like imagine you watch them train and it's like they're doing all the normal stuff like sprinting and lifting weights and stretching. But imagine if like for 2 hours a day they like massaged their kneecaps. You'd be like, why are you doing that? At a certain point, you got to go, hey, how many Super Bowls do you have? Right? And you go, he's clearly doing something that's working. So I'm trying to at least stay humble and go, maybe they haven't made any arrests because they're a bunch of pussies and America's fucked. Maybe there's a reason why they have risen to the positions in intelligence communities. Maybe there's a reason why they're military masterminds. Is because they're more patient than you and I. Just as a devil's advocate position. I think it's probably, let's walk this out and say that like aspects of QAnon are real. I think you got to.
Well, of course, part of the PSYOP had to be real to get people to believe that it was true. But you know what I mean? They're saying JFK Jr.'s coming back and all this.
But that's all right. Let's play devil's advocate again.
But they put out a lot of truth as well.
Let's play devil's advocate again. Maybe you have to throw out a bunch of ridiculous horse shit so that people who would be opposing you don't take you that seriously. They go, all right, they're on to the whole there's a Marxist coup, but they're also saying that JFK Jr. is going to expose that Henry Kissinger is a reptile. We're not going to take them that seriously. Maybe you're throwing that out there. Let's say you're the good guys. You're throwing out some ridiculousness, right? Maybe I'm doing episodes with Dr. Malone and someone in the CIA is going, should we pop this guy? So I also make sure to do episodes where I talk about, how Nicki Minaj is the savior of the world, right? You can, like, hey, okay, he's not that serious, right? He's kind of competent, but he's still a goofball. You throw out a little, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. Maybe the system truly is just fucked through and through. It's rotted to the core and we're circling the drain. Maybe. But
But it seems like these people have families, they have children. I mean, the
yeah,
foot
yeah. So
soldiers, how many people work for the federal government? Millions, right? Millions and
yeah,
millions
it's like
of people work for
2.5
this
million or
beast,
something.
and no one has the federal government, and they got to have a conscience and say, is this the world that we want our family to grow up in? And we're not the elitists. We're not flying around on private jets and above it all in our helicopters. We're Joe Blow on the ground, just like you, working the grind, 9 to 5 and we got kids and we got all these problems everybody else has. And so it's like,
Or
I don't see incentive to go along with lighting the republic on flame in flames.
yeah. And conversely, to the people that don't have families, fuck do you have to lose? They might be like, this whole thing's fucked. Ed Snowden didn't do this because he had kids. I think part of the reason he didn't is because he didn't. Part of the reason he was able to do is because he didn't have kids.
That's
No one got burned.
Yeah.
So no, you're right, because if they're in on it and they're in on the destruction of the republic, then they're dooming their kids. Now maybe they're
like you're really all. I have a hard time believing all the federal government are Marxists now. They're all communists.
No, I'm with you.
You know what I mean? That's just too big of a conspiracy for me to think that we all grew up in America and somehow you guys all got your Marxist training and you're on board with communism, and you think that if we go with that program, which historically we know socialism, communism fails in horrific tyranny, and you guys, I mean, it's just it's a lot to wrap your head around to say the conspiracy is this big. It feels like through the compartmentalization, but then I'm like, okay, they keep getting exposed, arrest the bad guys already. But like you say, maybe we're still playing the long game. We're still playing the long game, and so we just have to be patient here.
I think it's probably that of all outcomes. And there's no, it's like multiple choice. It's not that you think A is 100% the answer. It's that you think one answer is like there's a 20% chance true, another there's like a 10% chance it's true, another 0. So you choose the least wrong. At this point in my life, 31 years and however many days old, and at this point of whatever wisdom you have at whatever age in your life, and just every book I've read and every interview I've watched and done and every pattern I've seen, I would say the sum total of, because theoretically I am the smartest I've ever been at this moment in my life, and I'll be smarter tomorrow, as will you, as will everybody. At this bleeding edge of my own existence, I think if there is a group of good guys, I think the deprogramming is still going on. I'm not like 1,000% on that. I think it's the least wrong answer, because I just don't see it rationally possible that the entire thing is Marxist. I also don't see it rationally possible that the entire thing has been infiltrated. And I also don't see it as possible that they planned for every contingency in the Cold War. Every contingency, including Mexico invading Canada. Everything. You're telling me, you ask someone, how would you take over the United States? It takes about an hour before you go, well, you cannot do it militarily. What you would do is you'd elect someone and then demolish it from within. You're telling me that the paranoid Joseph McCarthy's and Curtis LeMay's and James Jesus Angleton's didn't think, what if a foreign power put a leader in charge and demolished it from within? What would we do? And what happens if half the nation gets brainwashed and they'll defend the bad actor? The only way to show them would be to let them act on part of their evil plan and wake people up. And then they'll be much like letting the governments fail so that you beg for a World Economic Forum. It might be that you watch a socialist takeover for you to beg for there to be a military coup. I don't think it's that irrational. Now, if you tell me that it's all being done by JFK Jr. operating a quantum computer from the moon, well, now fuck off. But like, all rationale aside, I mean, let your dog eat its own shit and then it vomits. It stops trying to eat it. Or you can spend 10 years always going, don't eat that, don't eat that. Or you just go, you know what? Go for it. Eat it. Or you keep crying, you want to go outside? All right, go outside. And then he's shaking and you go, do you want to come in now? You let him in. You go, are we done with this? And the dog goes and sits in front of the fireplace. And you're like, okay. Sometimes that is like it's not, that's not like a complex conspiracy. Sometimes that is Occam's razor where you go, fuck it. Go find out. Don't take my advice. Right. But by the time the son realizes that the father was correct, the son will have a child of his own that thinks he is incorrect. Sometimes you just got to go, I'm not going to fucking go for it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. That's when you learn. So I think most of QAnon is batshit. But the idea, you take any understanding of the Cold War and PSYOP, not PSYOPs PSY, but PSYOPs, Single Integrated Operations Plan, take any continuity of government, COOG, continuity of operations, COOP, or enduring constitutional government, ECG, which are like the layers of survival of the government. And you look at how they're planned from everything from an Ebola attack from a radical in Norway to the fucking tsunami created by the Chinese to make Mexico go rape the president of Venezuela. It's all war gamed out with supercomputers in the 50s. You're telling me that if you're telling me that like you and I are the first to think about this, then the world's fucked. The world is absolutely fucked if you and I on a channel banned from YouTube are the first thinking about this. Smoke them if you got them, because this thing is going down in embers. I rationally am not able. It's not just that like I don't want to believe it. I'm rationally not able. It's not that you just don't want to believe that the CDC is evil. When you've watched like your friends drop dead, not some Twitter video, but you have a friend that died of a blood clot, you are not rationally able to believe the delusion. So I'm not rationally able to believe that there was no contingency for this. Now, is it going to work? I don't know. Are the bad guys so smart that they infiltrated the contingency? Maybe. I don't know. But if that is the outcome, we are still in the process of the dad making you smoke the pack of cigarettes and drink the vodka until you puke. We're still in the process of eating our own shit until we vomit. It's not good. And for the guy that does know that vodka makes you sick, or for the dog that does know you shouldn't eat your shit, it's going, this is really painful to watch. I can tell you how this ends. I don't know. I'm trying to maintain my own humility that I maybe don't have the answer. Does that make sense?
It does. It feels like they're lighting themselves on fire. You know what I mean? They're the establishment powers that be, from school boards to board of supervisors to city councils to police departments. It feels like they're all just going on these suicide bombing missions, lighting themselves on fire. And it's there for everybody that wants to see.
It might also just be the end. Like there might have been guys sitting around in like the fall of Rome going, this is all part of the plan. Like, no, dude, Rome's burning. It might be. It might be this is China's coup. And we are going to enter the age of China for 300 years until another empire replaces them, rinse and repeat for eternity. And then my last, and we got to wrap this one up because I got another podcast in a minute. My last kind of theory is it's beyond humanity. It's beyond the universe. This is God or the simulation or whatever you want to call it, teaching you a lesson in letting go. Not only do you get old and die, not only do your parents die, not only do mountains rise and fall, even the invincible American government, even that will fall. And it might be that this is part of, if you live forever, eventually the universe will collapse in on itself, or it will expand into just cold nothingness. It's teaching you that nothing actually does last forever. And that might be, maybe it's like the QAnon of God. God's going, I'm going to show you that nothing, not just the polar ice caps, but nothing lasts forever. And right now, we're still not believing it. We're still clinging on, right? We've both got flags behind us. We're like, we're going to pull through. It might be like hanging on to the end of the Titanic going, it might not sink. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's going down. It's like, it might not. I don't know. But I don't think that's also an impossibility, that we're being shown that nothing lasts forever. It's not to go all religious, but it might be like, how else would you accept that there is nothing but like love for God and for each other, because none of us are getting out of this alive? I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, we know every empire falls. It just feels like we don't have to go down that road. And
decline is a choice.
Yeah, we still have a choice. We still have free will. That's a
Yeah.
We have free will, and everybody, I know you got to wrap this up, so let me wrap it up. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com to see our broadcasts over there. We got interviews with like same as Tommy, authors, researchers, all this type of stuff, cover current events. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely,
Tommy. Dude. Hopefully we can do it again. You can come on my show.
I'd love to.
In the future, I know you're grinding it out. Just keep grinding. I'm going to keep grinding over here, putting out the information. Everybody do your own research. Subscribe to our channels. Peace, love, and liberty, and speak out and take action. Tommy, that's my my wrap up for the show. Thank you for your time today, sir.
Fuck yeah, brother. Hey, I'll message you on Twitter. I'll send you my number, because Twitter didn't let you send you your links earlier. I guess you tried to send me the links for me to put in the description, and Twitter said this is like suspicious activity. Go fuck yourself. I'll just have you text me. Just text me all the links you want, and I'll put them in the description.
That's the last big tech I'm allowed on. I don't know how much longer I'll be allowed on Twitter. Banned from Facebook.
It's all.
I'm banned from Google too. That's a big one people don't understand. Unless you have a website trying to serve advertising through Google AdSense. Tommy, they told me I'm banned from Google AdSense to the cyberbullying, the World Health Organization.
I got banned from Google AdSense summer 2020 because I interviewed Mike Durant, the Black Hawk Down pilot, who said that he shot somebody in Mogadishu, and they said I was promoting violence.
There you go. So people, that you have to really go out there and have a website, have a show, and say the truth on there, and to really understand the level of censorship that we're under. Because you just tell whoever, oh, they have their Facebook page and they talk to their friends from college, they don't understand. They don't give a shit. Yeah. You're like, I'm banned. Like, you guys don't understand, man.
Yeah, I mean, demonetized, banned. Listen, that just means you're doing it right. If you're still on YouTube in 2022. You are either a shill or a fucking cuck with no balls,
right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Or you're just like, I don't know, reviewing iPhones, which is I guess fine. But like, if you're still on YouTube and trying to present yourself as any sort of like open, free discussion, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Tommy, last word. I just saw YouTube banned pro-life. So anything pro-life against abortion, which is a legitimate mainstream position, is being banned on YouTube now. So it's just beyond ridiculous.
But in a way, does it not see? This is what I mean, where it does kind of seem like we're being deprogrammed. Like, New York Times came out with that article yesterday that said cannibalism has a time and place. It does not kind of seem like they're just pulling back who knows? Or maybe it's just their coup and they're winning and they're putting it in our face. I don't know. Find God, find truth, meditate, love each other. No one gets out of this alive. But I got another guest trying to enter right now, so I got.
Right, have a good one, brother.
Yeah, hey, I'll have you text me all your links. I'll put them in the description. Would love to come on your show. Would love to have you on. Thank you so much for your time, man. That was fun.
All right. Peace.
Sam, take care.